Recorded.
Hello everyone. So in the last session, we discussed how to create interactive reports. I told you what is interactive report and what all thing we can do. We created one local structure. We created fetch the data from two table, Metner and Mara. We saw how to fetch the information with the help of loop and read statements. Okay, and later we just created the field catalog and use our method called reuse ALB grid. Okay, and then we displayed the output in the screen like 1 to 100 if I want to see which all material exists in the system. So these many materials are available from 1 to 100. Okay, there are some properties which we can utilize like this I'm scrolling and then full number is coming. For that there's property called optimize is available. So if do that, so that also possible. So you have to play with the field of field catalog. So if I come here and if I use this property optimize, mm, one sec. So that is I think layout part, not here. So there one more concept over here which we use. One sec. Yeah, so that is not here available. Okay, so that also I will tell you how to use that. Okay, so we saw that, and now the data is available in the grid format because we have used reuse ALV grid, which is already given by SAP to uh, display the data on the output screen in the grid format. Grid format means like an Excel, we have rows and column available, so that's called grid. Like this is grid, and it looks easy, and do the calculation is also easy. We can filter the information, we can do some operation also like some click event. I can just check this mark also. Okay, so now I'll show you how we can see like we have used ALV grid display. Likewise, we have also available ALV list display. So list display is something like similar to the classic report which we have seen in the initial days. Okay, and here I'll tell you one thing. See, before using this FM, always try to check that the table content which we are going to use, the LT final should not be empty. So this is one of the interview question people ask, like what is the prerequisite. Okay, so prerequisite for ALB input, so I'll say it's not initial, then only. Otherwise, it's sometime what happens, the data is not there, it might give a dump. Okay, so we can do a check here. So if it is not initial, then only go to this FM, otherwise do not go. Okay, so if I just go here and I'll just say some number. Okay, some big number. Okay, and let's see whether it exists. So it does not exist, and because we have put the check on the top itself, so it came out directly. Okay, so here only we have put the check and it did not go inside that. Okay, now we'll be using other FM which is available. So I'll just copy this and let's try to call it. So how we can call these FMs? Okay, so we have button over here, that pattern. Okay, and we can give the function module name over here. So I'll just use reuse star list star display. Okay, and then I'll put star one more. Then we'll click on this button. Okay, this is F4 button. Either we can press F4 button directly, and then we'll be able to see all the suggestions from the dictionary actually. So we have this FM available, reuse ALB list display. Okay, and if I just click on OK button over here, it can be the FM over here in the screen. Okay, so, so what all things we have passed over here in this FM. So we gave the program name. So same I'll be giving there as well. Okay, we have to uncomment this export parameter. So how we can either just go here and delete the star mark. Okay, or the shortcut is we can use the control and the left arrow button. Okay, so if sorry, the dot button, point button, and we fill the information, set back program name, I call back program name, I can give like single quotes. Okay, and then come uncomment it. So this is the information which we gave last time. What else we gave? We try give IT field cat. So this also we'll copy it and we'll give the LT field cat over here and comment this code. Okay, and what else we have given here? This table which the data is holding. Okay, LT final. So that is there in the table section, IT out there, and I'll just comment this code. Okay, for now I'll just comment this code. Let's check if everything is good with this code, otherwise any error is there. So syntax check is there is no error. Okay, we'll save it and activate it. Okay, so what we mostly do is that whatever the field which we are not going here and putting in the comment section, we directly delete it. Okay, or sometime we use these fields, so we keep these. Otherwise, we delete most of the item available, like whichever we are not using. If we are not using event or parent and all those parameters, then we directly simply delete these. So because we do not require that. Okay, so I'll just delete it. And these set status and user command mostly we use it, or this also can be deleted and can be added later manually. Okay, and I'll just structure name is not required. Okay, and save it. Okay, let's see and check so that makes the code looks like whatever we want to use, we'll keep it in the program and the rest we'll delete it. And that is called dead code. Okay, we do not keep the dead code in this program until unless it is required. Like if someone has made some changes in the next version, then only we keep the dead code. Otherwise, we do not keep the dead code in the report or any program. Okay, now let's execute. So if I'll just give 1 to 100, see, that's how the list display look like. See, there we were able to copy and all those things operation we were able to perform. Here also we can do some sorting and all those things. Okay, and we can download this in the Excel format or local file. Okay, so these are automatically given by SAP if we use the reuse ALV thing. Okay, so all those buttons can be there. Okay, this is given by SAP, and that's how the ALV looks like, list display looks like. And here this check button is not enabled, right? So that it was there in the grid display, it was enabled. If I just go back, comment this code for your comparison and uncomment this code again. Okay, save it, check it and activate it, execute 1 to 100. So that's the reason we mostly use this interactive report with the grid display, and it makes us easy to do a lot of tasks available in the interactive format. Okay, so that's how we can create list display also. So I just wanted to show you how it looks like, and it's very easy. Just same structure it follows, same table we can pass, same field work cat we can pass to this table. Okay, now we'll learn one more thing here. So there are something available called, see why we call this thing as an interactive, because the user can come to this screen in the output screen, and here he can perform so many operations. Okay, like if you want to know what is material is 23, so what he can do is he can click on this button and we can write some code in the backend, and it will take us to the mm03t code. So what is mm03t code? If I just go to mm03 and copy this number right now. Okay, if I'll give this material number over here and press enter, it will display all the information related to that material. Okay, so what's the material number, what's the material name, okay, and other information like where it is a storeroom and all those information. So if I'll take the plant, it's a Newark, and the storage location is 3000. If I press enter, so it will show me the location and the stock also. Like currently it is not having any stock, so it's showing 0. So all those information we can see with this one. So that's what the user says. Okay, if I'm setting in the report, I don't want to go to any other T code. Just give me something. Sorry, just give me something over here itself so that I can navigate to that screen. Okay, and what else you can do, like you can select all this entry in one shot. So for that also we can write some code over here. Okay, like I can create some button. Okay, so if you do that, all this will be checked, one or everything will be checked here. Or if I can create one button, then everything will be unchecked in the single shot. So that can also be possible. And when do we do it? So like there are some kind of processes that where they just want to delete these two entry from the DB. Okay, this is not a generic case that we are deleting the material. Some other transaction, I'll say some entries they see in the report or something like that, so they want to delete only these three entries. What we can do is we can give some button over here like delete these. Okay, and once you click on that, this entry will be deleted from the table and data will be refreshed and shown in the same Excel. Okay, so these kind of operations we can perform with the help of our interactive reports. Okay, so first we'll see how to create a button over here. Okay, and then we'll see how we can utilize those buttons. Okay, so we'll go to change mode. Okay, So there is something called available in the system set. So we'll create first one block, okay, one block of code, what we call is subroutine or form, okay, and that will be called in our system. So here we have one field, okay. So let's go to this GI create itself, and if I just double click on this, okay, I'll just save it. We'll go to importing parameter, and here we have some block available called uh, pf status set get. So this is being used when we are going to create any button or any screen enhancement in the output, right? We have to use this, okay. And if I just go to this list subroutine, it says it's a form name with type 30, okay. So if you'll work more in this area now, you will be able to understand, okay, what is all those things and how we can utilize all those items. There are a lot of field available which can be utilized. We can give the event list, we can use some save command, okay, and in the screen itself it will save the data. Like we can open that field in the edit mode, like we saw the material number, right? So there we can change the description of the material and save it on the same screen. So that is also possible in that output screen, okay. And let's see what this says. So it is name of the calling program and set exit routine to status, okay. So this is being used, see if I'll say long test, double click on that, so it says actually, okay. For reuse, you'll be grid display. I call setback PF status field. This is used. Okay. Set exit routine to status description. Passing an exits routine indicate to the ALB that the caller wants to set a self-designed user status. So it says like we want to design our own screen over there. Okay, in the output. Okay. As a result, the default status of ALB is not set. Okay. The interface of the routine specified must be defined as follow, that we have to use form set pf status using rt types xlib. So we have to use this form, okay, form and end form to utilize that thing, okay. Now table rtx tab, okay, this thing which we are going to use, okay, contains a function code that would be hidden on the standard user interface. So it holds a event, like when we are clicking or when we are doing some action on that, it holds that information and the button thing, okay. See also documentation for parameter, like there is some more documentation available over there, so that we'll see, okay. Now so that's how you can learn one by one. Like for some fm it is available like long list. If it's not, then just copy this thing, google, paste it on google, the information you want to see, okay. So now we'll be creating one set status thing, okay. So this I have copied from there only on that screen which we have taken, okay. Along with that, there is one more parameter we add. Sorry, there's one more parameter we add in this thing. So no, for this it is enough, and I'll say end form. So there's always end to form and starting and the ending. So here we'll be creating our own screen. So I'll say set pf status, and I'll give some my name actually. So I'll say z my screen, okay. So this is my screen, I'll just give a name and save it, okay. If I just double click on this my screen now, okay, so this is one way to create the status. There is another way, like we can go to one t code called se41 available, okay. If I just go to se41, okay, there also we can design our screen. So if I just go to se41 t code, and we can give our program name, and we can create some like my screen also here, okay. And this can be our main program name. So what's our main program name? JAD Interactive Reports. Okay. So if I'll just click on the create button, it will allow me to create the geostatus from here only. And from the program also we can create, like when we go to the tables, right? That time we can create our data elements and domains. So same way we can do here as well. Okay. So I'll go from the program level, and then you can try with the SE41 also, and let me know if any doubt is there. Okay. Both are same thing, there's no change. So if I just double click on this, see, create the object, yes, okay. Now see, same screen came, okay. So demo screen for interactive report, we can give some meaningful name, and normal screen only, nothing else. Okay, see, now it has come that you can design your own screen. You can either keep the menu bar which is available. Like what is the menu bar here is that these buttons are called menu bar. Okay, like back button, that exit button, cancel button, these are called menu buttons. Okay, then these button which we are seeing here, okay, this is called toolbar buttons or application toolbar button. Okay, and so here we can create menu bar button, we can create application toolbar, and the next thing is function keys. Okay, so what is function keys? That we have function key available in our keyboard. If you'll see closely that F1, F2, F3, F4, so if you want to give some command on that keys, so that also possible that we can give over here. Okay, so this will leave for now, and then we'll use only, we want to create one button over here in this screen in our report. Okay, so I'll just go back again. Okay, so that it's easy for you to understand. Save it, activate it, and execute it. So what we are doing is currently that I'll be creating some two or three button over here. Okay, one, two, and three likewise. And with that button event, we'll do some activity based on that. We can either check this button, okay, so, all those fields, or we can uncheck this thing, or we'll just call some screen. Okay, so that thing kind of thing we'll do with this interactive reports, and that is being asked in many interview questions. So you should know this thing how we can do it. Okay, so I'll just give some, first thing is that I'll give some name. So how we give a name like percent, I'll just say select. Okay, so we are going to create so that it will check all the button. Okay, I'll just say check, and the second thing I'll give as uncheck. So multiple buttons I'm creating, unch. Okay, and the next one I'll say mm03. Okay, I want to open this screen mm03 with that some button event. So I just double click on that. Okay, and you'll be able to see this screen enter function text. So there's nothing to give here. Exit. Now we can give the function text. Okay, so we can give some example like button for button to check the checkbox. Okay, check the checkboxes. Icon name, and here we can select some icon, like these are icons, right? If you're seeing here that minus thing is coming, plus thing is coming, some scissor for cutting is there, and this is for execute. So likewise we can choose some select icon or something icon which is available here, so that, and always try to make a practice that you are not duplicating this icon, otherwise the user will get confused which one to use. Okay, so let's see if any icon for select is available or not. So just, yeah, so this is already there. Okay, I'll just use this icon, or better I'll use this one, select all. Okay, that will be better. Yes. Okay, and I'll just, it is info text. Okay, now when we just come here and try to put our mouse over here, what should display here? Okay, so that is what we have to fill here. So we can say select all. Okay, so this just shows like when we are hover over the field, it will show select all icon over here. Okay, just click OK. That's all. And here, like I told you, right, we have function keys available. So you can give any of the shortcuts available from the screen. Okay, so I'll just give shift plus F1 button here. Okay, and now it is coming for the second button which we have created, unchanged, right, unch. Now the similar way we can give for function text as uncheck the checkbox. You can choose some icon again for this and how it looks like. So I'll say and select. I think we'll use that icon again. This icon we'll use. Okay, and then deselect all. Okay, I'll just give like that. Okay, click on OK. Now it will ask for some function key. So shortcut I'll give F4. Now it is asking for the third one, third button which we have created. Okay, so for this I'll just say my name. Okay, I'll just write my name over here, or some say SAP. Okay, that's all. Icon name, we can give any icon, does not matter. Okay, from the list we can give any icon. Let's see if any button thing is available here, some icon for button. Okay, radio button. Okay, so icon, just will take this button thing and say SAP, or open SAP message. Okay, so this we can do. and click OK. And we can provide some shortcut key, function key for this. Okay, and this is not required. Save it. Okay, now just save it. I just save it, Control S, and check it. If any error, no error, then activate it. Okay, now this is ready. Our screen is ready. We have given function code and the icons. Okay, I'll go back. Now this is ready to be used. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to copy this form name from here, and like we have used this we have this block over here, like I callback pf status. Here we can give that name. Okay, so I just copy uncomment that code and mention it in the uppercase character. Okay, just save it and check it and activate it. So there's no error. Let's execute the code. So if I just execute, it will give some numbers. Okay, like I'll give 100. Okay, see, those buttons are coming now. But the problem here is, I'll show you that standard button which was given over here, right? Like I cannot go back to my screen now. Okay, I need to give these buttons also. Otherwise, the program will not go to the main screen. Okay, and this button which we have given, see, now it is coming. If I just hover over here in the program, see, it says deselect all. It says open SAP message. So this is what we have given over there, right? If I'll come here, select all. So likewise, we can give any message which we want to show to user. Now what we have to do is we cannot go back to the program, we cannot save it, we cannot cancel it. So what we have to do is we have to either go to /n and again to that program, okay, or we have to call the transaction, like we'll be giving some T code name over here, okay. We have to give that or go to the main script by /n, okay, because there is no way to come back. If you are using our own set pf status, we have to give all the button manually, okay. So for that, let's create one button for back thing. So we can go to the same pf status thing, okay, and then we'll give the menu bar button and we'll just give as a back, okay. So double click on that code. I'll just say as a back button, okay, save it. And then if you want to give icon, that's possible. Like icon name, I'll say back, okay. I'll give this icon, okay, let's see. And icon text back, that's all. So let's okay, save it, activate it, come back, okay. And we have to give some commands, okay. If you are using that thing, so we'll have to write our logic to come back to the screen. So that I'll show you how we can do this. So I just created one button. Let's see whether it's coming. No, it's not coming. I think I'm doing some mistake. We'll go to change mode again, go to the status part, okay. We'll go to menu bar, okay. And we can either take the standard objects like edit, go to extra environment. No, one sec. So I think we here only we have to give no. Okay, from the audience, can someone help me here? Anyone, guys?
So what do you need?
We have to create one button for the back thing. Okay, here the back. If I click on the back, it should come to back. Because currently it is not coming, right? So if I just do that, okay. If I just go back, execute 1 to 100, execute the report. So that button is not enabled. I want to create that button. So can someone help me, or does anyone know over here?
So we need to go to function button.
Okay, I'll go to that screen again first. Okay, change. Okay, function key, right? And here we have to give the name as back, right? Save it and activate it. Now let's see. Now that button is enabled. Guys, I want your interactive session. That's the reason I asked like how we can do it. Okay, So it's good actually, Yogis. You can speak out, and let's try to make this interactive, not one way. Okay. So
Sir,
if
can
I,
we do it? Sir, can we do it by SC41?
yeah, I'll show you that as well. Okay, don't worry. So we'll just
Okay.
execute it and see now this button which we created. It's a standard kind of thing, so it's coming automatically, and we can utilize this part also. Okay.
Hey Sumit,
Yes.
if I have the same button in standard program, okay, and I need deactivate, how I can do that? By enhancement or there another way?
There also one this standard screen will be calling. Okay, at that time you can just go and delete that part. So that is bit of enhancement. You can do it. Okay, but
Okay,
yeah, but this is custom, so directly we can do any action over here. But if back and exit buttons are available in the standard screen, I think there will not be such a requirement that you have to remove this, because everyone has to come back to the main screen, right? So
okay,
these buttons we mostly does not touch back button, exit button, cancel button, because this is everywhere it is used. But the save button, find, filter, print, and all those can be customized. Okay.
okay,
Yeah. So this is how we can create button. Okay. Now we have created the button, but it is not working, like it is not doing any action. Okay, see, if I'll click on this, nothing is happening. Okay, nothing is happening. So for that, okay, we'll just go back and we'll create one more thing called user command. Now user is doing some command, right, doing some click button over it, right? So for that there is something field is available called I callback user command. Okay, this gets trigger. Okay, we have to pass information that whatever writing in this block, and when we are using this ALB grid or list display, so that thing should work. Okay, so I'll tell you how to use that also. So if I'll go to this ALB grid display, okay, we'll save it, go to import parameters, and then we have user commands available. So it says exit print for command handling. Like if you are giving any command, see, if I'm click on this check button, right, this is also one command. Okay, if I'll click on the back button, this is one command. Okay, so this is all called command or the user button events. Okay, so let's see what's the syntax for that, and we'll be using that. Okay, command handling, click on the documentation, and here it will says that form user command using these buttons. Okay, like this is one of the ucom is it holds the action, and rs cell field types the cell field, it holds some of the events. Okay, so we'll just use it in our program rightly. Okay, just copy it. Okay, you guys, you are not able to see my screen, right? Just give me a moment. See, I clicked on this button. Okay, first user command, this button, this is, there is some documentation available for this form. Okay, this field, if you see here, if I'll click, no, one pop-up will come actually. Okay, so that pop-up you are not able to see. Let me share share my screen. Mhm. Yeah, see, I remember, I think last time also you were not able to see that screen, right? So I clicked on that button, and then this thing came, like we can see in the more of like some description why we used it and what all the fields available, like what things it's holds. So parameter arc you come, we are going to create one parameter like type psi you come, it holds a command thing. Okay, which is the button which we are pressing. Okay, so function called triggered, and then structure rs field, we are going to declare one structure of types list field. Okay, what it holds is it holds so many fields, like what's a table name. Okay, what's a index we are using, what's a field we have used. Okay, whether we are going to refresh thing or not, exit, and all those things it holds. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this thing and we'll use it in our program. Okay, I just go back and reshare my screen. Mhm. Yeah. Okay, so now we have written that block over here, right? So accordingly we'll write one more block over here, and I'll just end form. Okay, Inside that we can write our logic, what you want to do. So first let's see, okay, which values are coming over here. Okay, so I'll just put a breakpoint first, and let's go to debug mode. Okay. And this is has to be called in this thing called this fm. Okay, and there is thing field available. I called user command, and there we have to pass our block of code. Okay, user
Can
command.
I ask a question?
Just be there for some time, and then you can note it. We'll just take it in some time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll take the user command over here, and that's all for now. Yes, we can go for the report execution. Okay, so if I just give 1 to 100, okay, and execute simply, we got this but screen over here. Like if I, but still if I'll click on something, nothing will happen, and the debugger will start because it came. Okay, it took the event. Okay, let me reshare my screen to the debugger mode. Mhm. Yeah, see, when I clicked on button, right, and which button I clicked was that select all button. So if I'll see what's the event came here, so like sai you come, right, so it will hold my check button. See, we use the check button thing, right, so it came and it will be assigned to this value. Okay, now we can write our code like if it is check button, then what you have to do is check everything, or the say button is checked. Okay, likewise we can do, and what it holds this rs field, it will say which event was triggered. So see that this is the table which we have used. Okay, this is the index, the first index it was there, that the checkbox was there. Okay, and all those information is available, and the field name is checkbox which we have given for that button, right? So I'll simply execute it, and we'll write some code over here with check. Okay, so we'll go back to the main program. Okay, yeah, so I'll just say if rcom, okay, is okay, and the value was came as percentile check, I guess, mm, equals to, okay, check. Then what you have said, that you can just right now we can give a message like checkbox select all button. Okay, select all button was pressed. Okay, and then type, I'll just give a message as I. Okay, informative message I'll save and activate it. Okay, let's see whether it's gonna work or not. So just simply execute 1 to 100 and execute. If I click on this button, okay, see we got a pop-up like our event has triggered. Like if I'll write some code on this event, now it will work because we have checked that button. I'll just write a simple code over here. Okay, first thing, so we can write some code. Okay, so let's write it. So if it is checked, what you have to do is, okay, we'll utilize that code now from the screen. So how we can do this here is that we'll create one field symbol, okay, which is required to use it. So I'll create one field symbols. Okay, fs underscore final. Okay, type uh, lt final. So this was our table name which we have utilized, or we can give like line of, that is mostly we use. Okay, line of lt final. Okay, and here we can do a loop. Okay, because we are looping, we have to loop all that information. Like if I click simple that button, all the entries available on that screen, it should get all checked. Okay, so I have to check one by one all the screen of this table. Okay, so I'll just copy this thing. Mhm. Loop at lt final. What else we can do here? Assigning, because we mostly assign, and final work area, sorry, field symbol. Okay, next what we can do is that we have to check that button, right? So now if I just use this function field symbols, we have this button. Like what was the field name? It was a checkbox, right? So we'll set the value of this checkbox equals to x. X is nothing but there are two values comes as x or blank. Like if you want to make it check, then the value should be x, y, z, or anything, whatever you want to write. Okay, and it can be filled with this value. Like if you're clicking on this button and the button name is check, then what to do is loop for this table, and that time just mark the checkbox button equal to check. Okay, this is the code we have written over here. Okay, and at the last what we'll do, we'll just modify the screen. Okay, so now we have to modify the table which we have already used. Like if we have already having data in the IT final table, right? So I'll say modify screen or modify table, right? And what's the table name is LT final. Okay, so LT final. So this is our table name which we have to give to modify it. Okay, and from where we have to modify? We have to modify from this final structure or FS field symbol which we have used. Okay, and if I just press space, it says like which field you have to use. So reference type you have used, you have to use transporting, so we'll just give transporting. Okay, and then only one field which we have changed, right? We have used only one field. If you are changing some other value also, we can give here, and we can give, okay, just change that value also. So right now I'll give only checkbox. Okay, so this is the code which we have to write to make it enable or like check it. And after that, once it is done, what we have to do is we have to refresh that screen. Okay, so how we can refresh? Okay, just let's save it first and then I'll show you that thing. So let's check if any error, there's no error, and activate it. Okay, if I simply execute F8, take 1 to 100, and if I click on this button, okay, nothing has happened. Why? Because we have not refreshed it. Nothing, it is done in the back end. Okay, if I just put a debugger over there, the action has taken, but we have not refreshed the screen after that. So we have to refresh the screen. And where does that hold? It holds in this RS selection field. So if I just click on this thing, okay, and here we have a event called refresh. Okay, so we have to say, okay, you go and refresh that screen. So where we can do is we can do here. Okay, so RS select field, sorry, sometimes my copy button does not work and it holds the lost old value, and then I'll say refresh. Okay, so these are the things which we utilize, like do the practice with almost all the fields. Okay, and if you have doubt, then we can say, okay, what's the doubt, we'll work on the query part. So now we have, what we have done is, right now first we check whether which button was pressed. If it was check button, then what you have to do is loop all the final table and mark everything as a check button. Okay, modify the table because we have to uh, store the values, right? And then refresh the screen also. So now let's execute, give 1 to 100. Okay, now if you click on this button, see, if you see, everything is filled because we have modified the table, also modified the screen. So it just seconds of time or many seconds of time, it cannot show us how it's going in that. But if you want to show in the debug mode, let's go. Okay, so I'll put a debugger over here and execute it. Okay, so I'll simply execute 1 to 100, execute normally. Okay, if we came to this button, then if I click on this check button, it will open the debugger. Okay, let me reshare my screen. So these kind of works come are very regularly when we are working on the business requirement. They ask us to do many tasks with this output screen. Okay, and if I'll just see, LT final has 32 entries. Okay, so now what is the current value? If I'll just see, if click on the FS final, currently it is not assigned until unless it has to be assigned. So now it will be assigned. Okay, so what is the check value over here? Okay, if I'll just see this final table, the checkbox value is blank. Okay, we are giving explicitly that make this value as X. Okay, so if I just press F5, now if you see the value of this field, now it is marked with X. X means it is filled. Okay, and if I just modify LT final, so let's see with the before LT final. Okay, so this value is filled automatically as X because we are using field symbols and it is behaves like a pointer. Okay, So if you know C, C++, Java, how the pointer works, then it's easy for you to understand. And then if I just modify it, transporting only which one button, okay, just simply F5. So nothing will change and this came as checkbox. So one by one value got filled. Okay. Now, if I just F5 again, it will go to the next thing. Then again came to the second thing to also be checked. So that's how this thing is working. And I'll just simply execute it so that we'll go to the main screen. Okay. Let me reset my screen. Mhm. Demo interactive report. Yeah, we came to the main screen. So that's how we can write our code to select all the fields available in the, and then we can take it forward for other processing thing. Like if you want to delete the entries, you want to save the entries, or you want to change some entries, that is also possible from this screen. Okay. Now we have done this check thing. Now let's do a thing for uncheck. Okay. So that is also possible. So how we can do is we'll write the same code. Okay. But the button will be different, right? The button which we have used here. Just give me a sec, guys. See, this was a select button, right? So here it is deselect button. So let's either you know you have built it, so you will be knowing the name of this button. If you don't know the button name, simply go to the debug mode. Okay. So what we can do is I'll put a debugger over here, breakpoint. Oh, yeah, sorry. And let's execute that report. Okay. If I'll give 1 to 100, execute. If you click on this button, deselect all, it will trigger the debugger. So let me share my screen to you. Debugger, allow. See, so we clicked on that button. Now let's see what's the value coming. So the value is coming is unchanged. We gave you and ch name, right? So we'll be using that in our program. Okay. Nothing has happened because we have not selected the any button or did any operations. Okay. So I'll just share my screen and write the same code. Okay.
But there is no T code to know that to know the name of the button.
Sorry, come again, please.
Is there any T code? I wrote it to get the name of button.
Yeah, just be there with your doubt, Mohan, please. I'll take the doubts. Okay. I'll just pause the recording and then we'll work on this thing. Okay. Just give me a sec, please. Okay. Now we'll go back and we'll say else if. Okay. If you want to use another button thing, then I'll say if this button name is this one, then what you have to do is we'll use that thing. There is one more thing called case and case, which also can be used here. If you don't have multiple fields or multiple things available, we can use else if also possible. Okay. Copy the same code. There's no requirement for that. Okay. I'll just use the same code, but if you're doing the unchanged, right, uncheck button, then what I'll make it as empty. Okay. And save it. And then let's check activate it. Okay. Now if I just execute the button simply 1 to 100, execute. If I'll click on this button, okay, it's going to the debugger. Let me remove that debugger from first. Just give me a sec, guys. So I'll just come back. Otherwise it will go every time in the debug mode and we'll have to switch the screen. So I execute 1 to 100. Okay. Then if I click on the check button, it checked everything. Okay. If I click on this uncheck button, see, it makes it empty. If I click again, check. If I click on this again, empty. Likewise, we can give the event for this also. So if you know the name, we can give the third button over here as well. Okay. Now I'll stop the recording. We can ask a doubt and so that it will be more of clear. Okay. Otherwise, if we move forward, then it will be hard to understand the thing if we are not knowing anything. Yeah. So these are the things which we use, like we can check or uncheck the button in this output screen or interactive report. I think my program stops again. Okay, SE38, because I executed with the parameter, so it will take all the things. So we can check, okay, we can uncheck, and we can write some other event also in this event. Okay, so that we'll see. And one thing here I can do currently, I'll just mark it as X again because we did a R&D here. Okay, just exit and save it, execute it. So it will refresh the screen again. Okay, 1 to 100, execute, check and uncheck. Okay, now it will work. And we can give some command over here in the button also, like if I want to delete these entries or perform some operation, call some screen or do some, we can do double click event also here. Like if I just click on that, it will open the screen. So that we'll see in the upcoming session. Okay, so that's all for today. I'll just stop the recording. Apart from Mahmood